To the Media Center here at Bishop Noll Institute. My name is Paul Mullaney. I'm the president here at Bishop Noll, and I welcome you to our Big Reinvent, the reinvented event that we have, which is normally our big event. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but this is our primary scholarship fundraiser for the year here at BNI, and we have gone virtual this year because of the coronavirus pandemic, and we are grateful that you are with us. We have an exciting night of activity, and it's been building up all week, and just want to thank you so much for being part of it and joining us here. I want to introduce our team that's here with us today, and I have over here Mary Ellen O'Neill, who is our Director of Advancement. And Mary Ellen, welcome. Thanks.
Thank you.
And back in behind us here, we working hard online here are Julie Sandoval, who is our event coordinator, and also Jen Florak, our Director of Communications. So I just want to thank these ladies. They have worked tirelessly to help us get to where we are today. It's been a challenge, but it's been a positive result, and it's going to pay dividends for the students and the families here at Bishop Noll. And so, Mary Ellen, tell us about the big event in general, and why is this so important?
Well, the big event, we've been hosting a fundraising event every year for the past 35, 36 years at the end of April. It's always it's a fundraiser to raise money for deserving students here at Bishop Noll for scholarships. It helps defray costs of our tuition, and our students are well deserving. And this year we were not able, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were not able to host our big event on April 24th. So we still have students who need scholarships, and this year even more, because so many of our families have lost jobs and income. There is a great need for even more scholarship money for our students. So tonight is really very important to all of us, so that we can support our students as they deserve.
So if you're watching on our platform page, we thank you. If you're watching on Bishop Noll's Facebook page, we thank you. And if you're watching as one of the subscribers to WJOB on the Facebook page, we want to thank Jim Dietlow and the crew over at WJOB for opening up the channels to their audience as well. And the way this works is, and before I do that, I want to also thank Tony Panic from WJOB and Jimmy Mullaney. Tony and Jimmy are both Bishop Noll grads, and thank them for manning the cameras and pulling the switches tonight. So the way this is going to work is that there are three different methods of fundraising. The one that you cannot do anymore tonight is the raffle. We had a raffle that sales were closed off because you can't be here to buy tickets, so that's done. We also have auction bidding. So the auction bidding and the straight donations are available if you go to this website. It's bnireinvent.givesmart.com. bnireinvent.givesmart.com. This live stream is also available on that homepage, so you'll be able to watch it there. In addition to the Facebook pages you may be watching it on right now, or on the WJOB network. So you can go in and bid at the items. There are more than 40 items that are up for auction, and they are broken up into 7 different series. And there's the 40s, they're numbered that way. The 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 100s. And they're done that way because we have different close times for the various auction items. So the first closing time will be at 7:10. So that's the 40 series, and you can see all of the numbers if you go to the GiveSmart page. So it's bnireinvent.givesmart.com, and so that's the first close bid. The bids close at 7:10 for the first batch. So that's kind of how that works. Also on that homepage, you are able to see if you're not if bidding is not your thing and you just want to make a straight donation to the Bishop Noll Scholarship Fund and our students, you can just make a straight donation. You'll see a little bit farther down below the auction items, you can see where you can just make a straight donation. So that's the long and short of it. Tonight at 8:30, as we wrap up the presentation, at 8:30 we'll have the drawing for our Warrior Winnings Raffle. So that's kind of the agenda for tonight. And Mary Ellen, anything you want to talk about in terms of any special prizes that you or auction items that you?
Is that the one we're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a couple of great items. Just because they're in person, I thought we'd show them. We're going to get them close to the camera. Lorenza Pastrick, our principal, is here to show us.
Hello, everyone.
And do I need the microphone?
If you want to be heard, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Didn't know if I could do that. All right.
As long as you keep your distance over there.
We have a great, if you are a martini fan, we have a great martini basket, and it's filled with some great liqueurs, and some Renee Nagdeman, who's our finance director. She is the donor of this great item. She has given us recipes for some of her favorite martinis. There are a number of liqueurs here. We have a martini. We've got a shaker. We have some stemless martini glasses, some really fun napkins. And if you notice, this crate, which she made, it says, "Keep calm and martini on." Now, I'm going to turn it around and show you the back of it because it's really does double duty.
Drum roll, please.
The back of the crate for Warrior fans is a Bishop Noll, the Bishop Noll N Warriors with a feather. So you can tailgate at have a tailgate party or any kind of party with your Warrior friends or with your martini friends. Either way.
And let's call it what it is. Coronavirus has brought out the drinker in all of us. So this basket should easily go for all martini drinkies, for drinkers, for any moms out there doing e-learning still, for any alumni trying to run a business from home. So please place a bid on the coronavirus cart of beverages.
And you have till 7:50 for that item. So you got some time yet, but take a look at all the items that we have on our page, and there's a few of those of the alcoholic variety. So thank you, Mary Ellen. And I want to let you know that our goal tonight is $70,000. And the good news is, we started this week with a goal of $50,000. And because of the generosity of so many of you, and our Bishop Noll family really has stepped up here. And tonight at 5:30, we actually passed the 60,000 mark. So that's exciting, and that 60,000 mark involves just the straight donations, the leading bid items, which we can calculate, and also the raffle revenue. So we've got less than 10,000 to go to hit the 70,000 mark. So we're hoping that you can all rally and come to the cause tonight to help us out. So at this point in time, we want to show, and Jimmy, if you could roll our donor scroll right now. We want to show donors. We want to show our viewers the types of donations we've been getting. So as soon as you can put that on, we're good to go. So thanks, Jim. And there you can see a number of the people who have stepped up and donated.
Mm-hmm.
And appreciate everything much. And while we're looking at those, I'm going to introduce, you met her just briefly here, our principal, Lorenza Pastrick. And Lorenza, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I was caught up in a little bit of a flood there in Munster as I was on my way here, so I'm a little later than I'd like to be. And obviously not thinking straight as I was not socially distancing by Mary Ellen. So Mary Ellen, my apologies. I'll be much better as the newscast continues.
You mentioned the flood. We had a downpour for those who are not from the region here. The skies really opened with a fury, and it really came down at about the same time that a lot of the new donations and bids started pouring in here to our website. So
there we go. So pouring outside and pouring inside. And just to let the entire newscast know, it's actually a double rainbow right here, right over Bishop Noll as we speak.
There you go. And hopefully all of our viewers can help us get to that pot of gold.
That's right.
At the end. So Lorenzo, we've got a few minutes here before our first series of items closes here at 7:10. Talk about, from your perspective, just the importance. I mean, you and I are both alums.
Sure.
We can relate to what the Bishop Noll education did for us, but there are a lot of families who rely on these scholarships for help, and the impact that our scholarships make for the students at Bishop Noll.
Yeah, absolutely. We are our student base here. They come from blue collar families, hardworking families that put forth their energies to send their kids here. They make big sacrifices to send their kids, and sometimes some of our families just need a little extra oomph, a little extra push to make sure that they're able to send their kids here consistently for 4 years. So these scholarships really help the creme de la crop here at Bishop Noll. Students that really work hard, want to excel academically, are active in our student body. So these scholarships really assist them in attaining a quality college prep education, ingrained and foundationed in faith, Catholic faith. And they're able to do that a lot of times because of these scholarships, because of the generous donations from our supporters. They're able to come here because they got that little extra push that helped the family to make their sacrifice, but still that little bit of help is what they needed in order to keep their child here for 4 years.
And that's what it's all about tonight.
Absolutely.
We're all just trying to raise the bar in our efforts here, and allow these students who to be able to achieve and take advantage of the education that they so readily desire. So just to talk a little bit about that in this first batch coming up here in a couple minutes that will close. If you haven't had a chance yet, there's some really cool gifts or some items, including a Pete Doherty beautiful framed photo, the shoreline spectacle from the Indiana Dunes. It doesn't look quite like that today because of all the rain. We have the interior design for $1,000 worth of interior design for your home or business from the same firm, Whiteman, which is the architectural and design firm that designed our state-of-the-art Streamlab here. So that's currently at $400 with 6 minutes to go, or less than 6 minutes to go. And then there's this principal for a day.
Oh, who wouldn't want that right now? One of the bidders told me, hey, get your junior class president bidding on this to get everybody to throw in a few bucks from the class and win principal for the day. So principal for the day, we'll have a nice lunch provided by me. We'll go around, do observations, and get to make some decisions depending on what the decisions are. And kind of get a little bird's eye view of Bishop Noll currently, and then as we move into the future. So hang out with me for a day. My husband said he was going to bid on this since he doesn't see me very often. But we'll see. So you have some competition over at the Pastrick home, as my husband said, hey, I haven't been with you for a whole day. So he might be placing some bids out there as well.
Well, with about 4 minutes to go, I see that the bid is at $525.
Oh, so we could do better than that. Come on now. I'll be texting my husband right now when we're off the air.
There's also a photo gift basket, courtesy of Dr. Kofis, the Association of Orthodontic Specialists. It's a Fuji Instamax camera and related film. It's $90 right now. I think it's $100 value, and it's there to be taken. The Tea Lovers, thanks to Evelyn Roldan for her donation, and a salute to country music, thanks to Sandra Ragg, which is a really cool item with the Ken Burns documentary, in addition to the country music, in addition to a bottle of Jack's.
Right.
So some history, some music, some snacks that go along with it. So that's a very, very nice gift too. So we're counting down here. We got we got a little more than 3 minutes to go here.
So start making your bids. I think I can go higher for $525. So let's get that moving. I promise you can make some decisions that might be of some value. So place your bids. In addition, I'd like to just highlight gratitude for those people who made those donations, because those are a lot of our faculty members that have stepped up and realized the value of scholarships here at Bishop Noll for our students. So they have stepped up and made made their own donations on behalf of Bishop Noll. So kudos to our faculty who have stepped up and staff.
And talk about the faculty. Speak about the mentors that are here in this building.
Sure.
And what they mean to the kids. I mean,
so obviously coronavirus has kind of spun us into an interesting experience, life experience for adults and obviously high school students. And I've seen our teachers really step forward in a different way to support our kids, whether it be phone calls home, making silly videos, taking on the role of sometimes a parent in this situation when parents are busy doing what they need to do for their families to survive. They've stepped in and kind of play that mentor role, calling on them, having conversations with them, making sure that they're staying on task, especially during this difficult time. You know, I think when coronavirus hit, we thought it might be like a week or two, and then all of a sudden our school year ended. So our teachers have really had to play a role on the screen for our students as mentors and leaders for them during this difficult time.
Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little later on here as we go through the evening about you know, what it was like for the kids e-learning and how we were prepared. And I give credit to Lorenza and her team, you know, building a culture here at Bishop Noll that, you know, our technology is such, and we have the infrastructure, that our kids know how to use technology. E-learning is not foreign to them. I mean, that replaced snow days years ago.
Right. So our students were already very tech comfortable. And the nice thing was, so was our staff. So when schools closed, everybody was scrambling because maybe their staff wasn't familiar with how to use technology in an innovative way. And thanks to our tech guy, our tech director back there, Mr. Simkowski, and our tech coach, Marisa Renwald, our staff was equipped with their technology and pretty much ready to go. That doesn't mean that there hasn't been a learning curve, but they really answered their call immediately when it came to being innovative with technology and providing remote learning for the rest of the year. And we're still doing it. Someone asked me, how would you characterize it? Well, we're warriors, so we're not going to, you know, take the easy way out. We're going to go through to the end and to the moment we are on the last scheduled date of school for classes.
And as we get just seconds away from the first close of the night here.
Hurry up. Let's see how much I can go for.
The other great thing about it was that we were, Lorenzo's team had put together a plan for this distant learning, this remote learning, thinking that and expecting that we were going to be having to shut our physical doors at some point in time. So I thought it was great how our families were notified in advance of the closures that were announced by the governor and the diocese and everybody else, that we had communicated a plan to the families that if and when this happens, which we expect it to happen, that this is the schedule. Odd number of courses would meet on these days from these times, even number of courses at these times, and that seemed to be a pretty seamless transition.
Yeah, I mean, I attribute that to the Holy Spirit. On that day, it was interesting how everything fell. They said, hey, we're closing school. I said, we're closing school in 6 hours. So we started meeting quickly with groups, started realizing that we had to move swiftly, carefully, and intentionally. And by the end of the day, I think we went like 15 minutes over schedule. The kids were dismissed at 3:15, but all the students were ready with their technology, with their books, with their equipment, ready to learn the following school day. And so were our teachers. So to do that in 6 hours is certainly by the grace of God and the assistance of the Holy Spirit that day. But we were able to communicate and have all of our parents and students on the same page.
Well, you'll be happy to know that the first closure of bids here. You don't have a computer in front of you.
I don't have a computer.
What do you think you drew for your?
I'm hoping I made it to 6:15 if I was able to make that kind of a push at the end.
6:25.
Yeah! All right, way to come through, supporters.
So in a minute here, we'll have Mary Ellen or Julie come up and tell us here what we got on our first round, and in that interim now, I'll give you just a reminder of what's coming up in the second round here that closes at 7:20.
That's awesome.
We got a great pair of iPad Pros. These are the brand new models just released in March. It's a $1,600 value. 2 of them are part of this package. So right now it looks like it's still at $1,200. So there's a little room if you want to. It's thanks to Damian Harmon for his generous donation of those iPads. Thanks to Briar Ridge for golf at Briar Ridge for a foursome. We got that in here. We got private lessons by our Bishop Noll baseball staff coming up. We got a cooler package from Matthew Sandoval. That's pretty neat, and that's been going up this afternoon. And you can have the Bishop Noll band, not the entire band, but at least a dozen of the players come and play at your home for your party. So that's there. And also there's a Marquette plan, South Shore poster that is you may be familiar with the popular South Shore series poster. So those are coming up at 7:20. So we'll see.
So if I may just let families out there with the reality of e-learning creeping upon us, those iPads, it's an investment for your family because we need more devices as we're going through e-learning. So if you're a mom out there and been like, I wish I had more devices, you not only can get some iPads for your kids for e-learning, that might be the reality next year for some of us, and you're able to support Bishop Noll. So those iPads might come in handy. And for our band, if I may, my brother-in-law just turned 40, and he had a mariachi for his birthday party, and the family was in the garage. And from a distance, under a tent, there was a musical accompaniment for his 40th. So I think the band students could certainly play that role for somebody's family. As we look to bid for our band choir director, Mr. Carioto's group, to go out there, a nice little evening being serenaded with our band students and enjoy a family safe social distancing event at home.
Very good, very good. And so the band looks like it's up to $528. The poster, $52. The cooler package, $250.
Here we go.
How about them apples, huh?
That's everyone's drinking right now.
Everybody likes it's an old school cooler with the bottle opener and everything.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty
Built
cool.
right in.
$270 for lessons here from the Bishop Noll coaching staff. $475 for a foursome at Briar Ridge. And the iPads appear still to be at $1,200. So
I'm telling you, Mike, if you're on the line, consider making a bid on that, babe, because these kids need more devices, so they leave me alone.
We got a little more than 5 minutes left on that batch. I want to talk a little bit about one coming up at the 60 series, item number 60 exactly, and it's the Region Pub Crawl. So this is I just want you to know what's out there if you haven't had a chance. We want to thank Wally and Nora Kaspricki at the Cavalier Inn for offering to start this event for dinner, but it's for up to 10 people. Mm-hmm. 10 people. And start with dinner and have a cocktail at this is 21 and older, obviously. And then we will escort you. We will use a warrior wagon and we will chauffeur you to 3 different region craft beer pubs.
That's awesome.
And at each of those stops where you would have a drink and be there for maybe an hour, there will be a surprise Bishop Noll personality there to meet you. And you don't know who it's going to be.
There you go.
I
hope I get invited for that.
So just
I get a drink too, Mr. Mulaney?
Well, stop and think of 10 people. You know, if you everybody paid $100.
Oh, it's easily covered.
Right, easily
and you
covered.
have a DD for the night,
and
in the warrior wagon, you can't beat that.
It's the experience.
Absolutely.
And right now it's at $750. So I have a feeling that's going to go up between now and $730.
So place your bids, and apparently these personalities, and if you went to Bishop Noll, there are some great personalities in the crowd, so you never know who will greet you at each different bar.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit how you're just before we get off the e-learning thing for the rest of the night. Just one more question, thought. How has it gone for you? Have you been pleased with the way it's gone? We've gotten pretty good response from our parents and families.
Absolutely. So naturally, as leader of the school, I'm extra critical because I think it's important to be mindful of things that we can improve upon, right? So the nice thing is that because we had a plan initially rolling out from day one, we've only improved upon that plan based off of feedback and surveys that we've attained from our staff and parents. So we've actually improved the process within the short amount of time that we've had as well. So I speak very highly of my staff in saying that they brought their A game when it came to e-learning from the first day. Obviously, it was new. We're used to having people, human interaction, kids raising hands, kids asking questions. That's normal to us. But to be able to quick shift in a day's time to virtual learning where kids are on our Zooms, where kids are on our Google Hangouts, and to be able to produce quality lesson plans, my teachers were able to deliver right away. And I think that as the time has gone on, they've even improved their delivery of lessons, which I think speaks volumes for their energies and their time and their commitment to making sure that our kids receive a quality education, even given these circumstances.
That's terrific. I just want to update everybody as we speak here right now, this moment. we have passed the $64,000 mark.
Keep it coming, crew.
With all revenue. So our team back there doing okay? Yeah? It's like the old Jerry Lewis telethon days, right? You see, except no telephones. Yeah. But
yeah, and
thanks
that's
again.
a huge thank you and gratitude to the people out there in their homes, making the donations and supporting a great cause. Again, like I said, these scholarships just give our kids a little extra bump to get through it. Naturally, due to COVID-19, there's going to be a higher need for scholarships with families that may just not have the financial means. So any little support that you can do as a family, as a supporter, as an alum, as a previous student of mine, whatever that may be, please think and be generous because it's in times like these that the true Catholic in us comes out and the true generosity in us comes out. So please, if you can, look for what you're interested in and place a bid.
And we got less than 2 minutes to go on the next batch here. So I see the numbers have been going up here. The iPad Pros are up to 1,500.
Yeah, see, some mom heard my plea. Yeah. Get that kid on a device.
Yeah. And then even though this isn't the pub crawl closing, it's going up too. So that's good. So
that's awesome.
That's a great experience.
Well, thank you to everybody for their generosity because it goes to make a big difference.
Yeah, and for those who are just straight donating, again, we'll replay the scroll in a short while, and we thank you so much. I mean, we can't say thank you enough. Tonight is a please and a thank you.
Absolutely.
It's the both ends there, and we have truly grown to engage, and we have grown to be so accepting of growing help from our alumni base.
Absolutely. And I think in a lot of ways that president-principal model has helped that, with Paul Mullaney overseeing kind of development and his staff working very hard to reach out to more alums. I think that we've been able to build a stronger culture of alum events, of alum activities. So I think that speaks volumes to these events and hitting those numbers, et cetera. So as he says, it's a night of please, thank you. I always joke that the president has to make the money, so he gets to say the please, and I get to say the thank you because I get to spend it. So in our roles, I think that the alumni and the supporters play a huge role in that. So sincerely, thank you for even being on tonight when you could be Netflix binge watching something. So thank you.
And I'll tell you what I think we can do. And Mary Ellen, if you give me the thumbs up, we'll go ahead with this too. If the pub crawl really takes off, maybe we can do 2 of them and give them to the top 2 bidders at the end. Well, we'll have to. That part, yeah, we're not going to throw that on Wally. We'll figure out a way to cover that. But,
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
No, Lauren's already paid for something. Relax. I got my husband on the other side bidding.
All right. So if 2 of you are dueling it back and forth, maybe we'll just go back and forth and we'll.
But I want to see a good duel off. So let's see who's gonna bring their A game on the duel.
Okay. Well, we are closed. It's the second batch is closed. The pub crawl is the next batch. So we have closed the 50 series. Do you want to do a recap of it, or do you want me to do it from up here? Of the 50s? We haven't done it. We're doing it right now. Oh, okay. So it looks like we got some great amounts coming in, some great bids. Thank you so much for
thank you
all your efforts. And holy moly, look at those. It's got some good prices. So coming up in this next one, before we get to price here, I'm sorry.
I felt like that was a Harry Carey moment. Holy cow!
I kept it clean though.
There you go.
Yeah. So the next series coming up, Theater at the Center, is another great. Thanks to our friends at Theater at the Center and Phil Patempa. It's a great buy. There's 5 shows, season tickets for 2 people, 2 season tickets for all 5 of the primary shows there, the main stage shows, plus brunch for 2 at their Sunday brunch at the
awesome.
Center for Visual and Performing Arts. That's
great.
That's a great prize. Right now it looks like it's at $351. We have a Warrior collection of books. These are books that are written by Bishop Noll alums and
Mr.
John
Traffney.
Francis Noll himself, and Mr. Traffney, who was a longtime teacher here, so that's another one coming up. So that's up there at $275. Terrific. And we got taxidermy for your waterfowl. We've got food for that is a donation from Lorenza herself here. Food for each season, and a pet basket that was donated thanks to Jen Florak too. So Mary Ellen's here to give us a quick summary of our 50 series.
The 40s and the 50s.
The 40s and the 50s.
Okay. So you know you're a winner if you bid on these at these amounts. So the shoreline photo, $260. The interior design certificate, $400. Principal for a day, Lorenza, $625. Way to go. Photo basket, $100. The tea basket went for $85, and the salute to country music, $160. Then the 50 series, the pair of iPad Pros, boy, those really shot up, $1,720.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. That's great. Golf at Briar Ridge, $475. Baseball lessons with our Bishop Noll basketball coaches.
Baseball coaches.
I'm sorry, baseball coaches. Excuse me. Thank you, Paul.
We don't want the basketball coaches
baseball
teaching
lessons,
the baseball.
It would make sense that baseball coaches would be doing those. Yeah. My apologies. $270. The Miller Light Cooler package, $310. Band at your home, the BNI band playing at your home, $555. And the South Shore poster, the Marquette Plan, $97. That's great.
That is awesome. Thank you so much to all of our stakeholders, all of our engaged alumni. That's terrific. That's terrific. It's just great to see the generosity of so many people. And at this time, as we mentioned earlier, with the situation with COVID, we have families who really need the help, and they're going to put it to good use. So, and this goes and all the money raised tonight goes directly to the families for their education here at Bishop Noll. So thank you so much, Mary Ellen. Maybe should we show coming up the wagon as well?
Absolutely.
Let's do that. Maybe we can get some help with it, or Mary Ellen's going to bring the wagon here. This is actually for later in the day. This is called Off the Liquor Wagon, or Off the Wagon here. Off the Wagon. And this is the last batch of the night, but we want to draw your attention to it. So as Mary Ellen, you could talk a little bit about it.
Okay. We have a great package here. It's called Off the Wagon, and the wagon comes with it. So we have a variety of top shelf liquors. We have we've got whiskeys, gins, rums. If you're a fan of 18th Street, we have the 18th Street Straight Rye whiskey. We also have from Three Floyds the White Witch gin, and also their whiskey. We have Don Julio tequila. We have Macallan 12 Scotch. We have many others. There's a whole host of things. Santa Teresa rum. So they're all here on display, and it's a value. The liquor value is over $700, and the wagon itself is worth $100. So this really is an $800 package, and it's a great buy for your next party, your graduation party, whatever it happens to be.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. That's always a popular item, and that'll be going off in our last series, the 100 series, which closes at 8:10. So you got time to look at that one. I see the pub crawls up to 800. We'll commit to doing two of them if we can get two people bidding. They're the top two bidders. We'll let the second one come in too on that one.
That would be great.
And that would be very good. Theater at the Center is good. Everything's looking very good. And we have less than 4 minutes to go. Three plus minutes to go on until the next batch closes. Anything else you want to pinpoint, highlight as we move forward here on any of the special things coming up? There's many different. Normally we get a lot of sports tickets for pro sports, college sports.
Right.
We did a lot of restaurant stuff, and because of the whole COVID situation, we haven't had a chance to to really
No, we
take
really
advantage
had to
of it.
think outside the box this year as far as interesting items to put into our auction, because our typical things, we usually have, I don't know, 4 or 5 sets of White Sox tickets, a couple sets of Cubs tickets, maybe some Bulls or some Hawks tickets, and Notre Dame tickets. I know we always get those from your family, Paul, and those did not materialize this year. So for obvious reasons. And restaurants, we've been so supported by local restaurants, and this year, because they were closed and also very hard hit, we were not able to offer any of those. So I think we did a great job getting some really interesting things, and a lot of our alums and faculty and staff really stepped up with some great ideas as well.
Yeah, it's been very good. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Appreciate it. So we got just a little more than 2 minutes to go here until the next series closes. I just want to let you know, after that coming up, there's a very nice South Shore Pierogi Fest poster that is going, and this is in the 740 series, the 70 series, which is closing at 740. If you wonder what luminary parking is, I've had a lot of people say, what's a luminary? Well, that's just a very special person, somebody who's in the spotlight and somebody very special to us. You can have your own reserved parking spot for the entire centennial school year, which is coming up. And I see that's at 325, it looks like right now, if my computer is up to date. And that's right outside the Cedar. So if you come to all the basketball games, if you want to, or all the plays and concerts, and you're a regular here at Noll and you want that front row parking, you can, take advantage of that. It's $325 right now is the current bid. And everything looks like it's going pretty well, moving along pretty well. And then one of the things I want to mention that I think is a great buy, and I don't know where it stands right now, but item number 80, if you're looking on your screen, at the Cube Sports Complex and Ice Arena here in Hammond. A couple Bishop Noll alumni, all of the members of the Sabilo family, and also Frank Buck and his family, Noll alums. That's their project there at the site of the old site of Dowling Park off of Kennedy and the Borman Expressway. It's a great buy. There is a skating party for more than 100 people. You can read the details on the description, and that includes free skate rental. So how often can you get a party site that has something original like that and can accommodate that many people? So if you got a kid's birthday party, an adult party, whatever, the date would be set between you and the ownership of the Cube. But that's coming up at $750. That's a great prize. That goes off at the same time as the Martini Crate that we talked about previously. So that's all coming up as well. And we are going to. We just closed the 60 series is now closed, and looks like the pub crawl got up to 850, so that's good. And this is exciting. Some great numbers. Thank you again to everybody. At this time, we're gonna once again roll our screen of if we're ready for that for our scroll of donors. So Jimmy, if you could do that, and then also I wanted to. He was outside of the room at the time when we were mentioning, so I want to throw a shout out to Paul Zimkowski, who is here with us. Paul is our IT guru and jack of many trades here in the building. He's also an alum, so we got a great support of our alumni here in the room tonight helping us out. So Paul has helped us arrange technically what we're doing tonight, and he's helping us out behind the scenes. So technology is an important part of what we do, right?
There we go. Yeah. And under Paul and Marisa, Paul Simkowski oversees kind of the networking and all the security of the building. He's done an excellent job preparing us last year for our one-to-one transition, and Marisa Renwald coming in and supporting the teachers with professional developments and making sure how to effectively implement technology and not just use it as a substitute for a notebook, as we often have learned at our PDs. So the two have done a great job of enhancing our technology experience here at Bishop Noll, and it truly showed when we had to go completely to remote education.
So the good news that I can give you right now is that we are at 65,000. So
thank you to everybody out there who's given generous donations. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Some of you, when you see the scroll and you see it says 45,980 on what you're looking at there on the scroll, that's because the scroll is specifically for the people who are just making straight donations. That does not include the bids, or does not include the raffle revenue that we have. And again, the raffle will be drawn at 8:30 tonight. Okay. And Paul, maybe if you get a chance, we can bring the drum back up here. And,
hey, Paul, put that White Castle down. Get that raffle drum up here so you can see how many tickets are in there.
So. There you go. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
I like it because it has the plexiglass covering, so no mistakes and social distancing enhanced with a barrier.
Yeah, that's right. And we want to thank all of our raffle ticket purchasers who took the time to mail in their address labels that we were able to, because Indiana gaming law does not allow us to sell raffle tickets online.
Right. So we had to do it in a different type of way this time.
and because our school was closed because of the coronavirus and the fact that we've been doing remote learning and we've had very little activity in the building, we've had to go this route. So thanks to everybody for taking the time to send all those mailing labels, the return address labels, which we'll be pulling a number of them out. Not all of them are return address labels. Some of them are filled out manually, but that's good. So I just want to throw out a shout out to our maintenance crew.
Absolutely.
Ed Rea is our facilities director. Rich Radzwicki is our director of maintenance, and their team. They've been the one constant here working in the building since we went to remote learning. They have done a deep cleaning of the building. Currently doing all the floors and walls.
Sure.
And
so when people talk about essential workers, I mean, obviously our thank yous go out to healthcare, medical fields, but often one of the essential workers that often go without notice are people that upkeep our buildings and make sure that they are sanitized properly, that they are cleaned properly. And our gentlemen and our ladies here, as soon as the COVID situation occurred, sprung right into action, disinfecting our entire building, and then now upkeeping it, preparing it for the summer, preparing it for next school year. My mom also works in maintenance, so the labor involved in an essential task such as maintaining buildings, maintaining cleanliness is another thank you, because when I look at our staff and when I look at a lot of our families have roles of essential workers, and essential workers in the healthcare, essential workers in our restaurants, essential workers in our maintenance departments need to be given a huge thank you. So to our staff here at Bishop Noll, under the direction of Coach Breha and Rich, they're doing a wonderful job of keeping our building safe and clean for those who are in it.
That's right. That's it. We've always prided ourselves on the cleanliness. I want to mention one of the gifts that's coming up here in a little over 4 minutes. Is the King Made Jerky prize here, and we want to thank Jeff King, who was a graduate of the class of '91, who is the founder of King Made Jerky. Some of you know his brother Todd. Some of you know his dad Jerry, who both Jerry and Bunny, his parents, are both Noll alums. But Todd is a professional caddy, and his jerky has become the official licensed beef jerky and meat snack for the PGA Tour. And so part of the jerky item that is up for bid here, coming up closed in a little over 3 minutes, is the jerky itself and these hats. So
that's awesome, because for anybody on those keto diets, nobody knows, if you're on keto, you know what a great treat jerky is when you're keto dieting. So for all those keto dieters, feel free to place your bid on the jerky baskets, and thank you to Mr. King for his generous donation to Bishop Noll.
Jeff, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I love jerky. Did you hear that, Mike?
Oh, somebody must have instructions to bid on that.
Yes.
At home, so the Pierogi Fest poster, the parking spot here, the Wine Lover, the drone photography, Texas Roadhouse, and the King May Jerky all wrap up here in a little more than 2 minutes. So position yourself for that. I hope you're having fun out there with the competition. I mean, it's been fascinating from seeing the activity internally to see, picking up steam as the week has gone on. At the beginning of the week, we were like, well, this is going pretty well. This is going pretty well, and today it's really come on very strong. So thank you again to everybody out there, warriors and others who are just joining us, who friends of the family, so to speak.
Right. I have to gather that watching Paul Mulaney and myself is probably more enjoyable than doing laundry or cleaning your kitchen. So thank you so much for tuning in, for your generosity, and for giving back potentially to your alma mater, potentially to your child's school. Thank you for supporting Bishop Noll and what we do here and for our mission to serve Christ.
Definitely thank you. But in terms of the excitement, I'm sure my kids have tuned us out by now. Not because of you. But
my husband is forced to watch with my children. So
hopefully they're watching at home too. So hi everybody at home. So it's going great. We're over the $67,000 mark.
Wonderful.
So
wonderful.
we're getting there. We're getting close to 70. We can do it, guys. And then don't forget, if you don't want to bid but you just want to make a donation, you can do that from our website too. www.bnireinvent.givesmart.com. bnireinvent.givesmart.com. I've gotten to know it now.
I was going to say, please don't ask me to say that. I have no clue. I would totally stumble.
All right, we're just a little over a minute away from closing out the 740-70 series package. And then
as people are finishing up their bids, again, I can't say thank you enough. I know we have parents tuning in. I want to thank you for the sacrifice that you make in supporting your students' education here. I know that this last quarter has been a challenge, but please know that your children were well prepared and are well prepared, and we continue to do our best to serve them.
All right. We got some good ones coming up too after this one is about to close momentarily, less than a minute to go. And then the 80 series, which takes place next, closes at 7:50. That's the Cube skating party we talked about. That's the Martini Crate. How's the Martini Crate doing here? Let me take a quick peek at the Martini Crate. $420. That's good. Adam Golikowski. Thanks to Adam. Adam is a member of the class of 1960. He's a very talented individual and very committed to Bishop Noll, and we're grateful to Adam for his commitment. He's going to perform a concert to whoever the high bidder is, and currently that high bidder is $326. So
yeah, Adam has been. I met Adam when I became principal here, and he has just been such a generous giver of his talents and time and treasure. So, Adam, if you're out there watching, thank you so much for the help that you've done, at least in the last few years that I've been here, to step up and share your talents with us.
All right, we got another package at his close now.
All right.
So we're making our way through, and coming up next, one of the things we haven't talked about is item number 83. You can be honorary coach of the Warriors at the upcoming football season. So let's talk a little bit briefly about football. Obviously, Coach Racine has done a very good job in terms of helping refocus the program.
Yes.
And
if I may, Coach Racine came in an interview. I recall interviewing him, and he just came with so much energy and so much excitement. And when he was telling me, he's like, hey, we have a plan, and he showed me the levels. I was just so impressed with his positive attitude and his positive energy about building the program. And true to his word, he has done just that. We took a little notch on the chin, and we went down to JV for 2 seasons. But because we did that, Coach Racine was able to groom and to cater to his younger students, his juniors and his sophomores and his freshmen, and he was able to grow numbers. So this year, God permitting, a season goes on without any hitches. We will go back to the varsity level. I know that was one of the questions I saw on Facebook earlier. We will be at the varsity level this school year, continue to compete in our conference, and under the direction of Coach Racine, he is a very animated energetic gentleman, very passionate for his sport, a teacher here. And if I may say, I was able to help kind of coach, and he really gets you involved. You're running the plays, you're moving the offense, you're moving the defense, you're throwing the passes if you want. You're really active with it. So if you're interested in being the Bishop Noll coach, if you were the Bishop Noll coach, or if you want to coach like your old coaches used to coach here at Bishop Noll, place your bids. I was able to experience Coach Velasic as a student here, not as a player, but he was here when I was here. Mr. Calbania, he was a teacher here when I was here. Coach Wally, Coach Ferry, you name it. I was blessed to be able to see part of that history, and I'm sure, Paul, from your eyes, you even had more history there in the football ranks. But
well, I know some of we had quite a bit of involvement from the class of '76 today, and or this week, and I know that. That was their seniors, the 75 season for the class of '76. They went undefeated, 7 shutouts. I was a junior that year, and
did you play?
I was Jerry Vlasic's stat man.
There you go, the stat manager right here.
So the stats were so good, the other team never scored, right? So I didn't have to record anybody.
There you go.
But it was a great period of time, and unfortunately, it was a very heartbreaking final night of the season when we didn't get in the playoffs and Valpo did. Valpo went on to win state. There were only 4 teams in the class: Northwest Indiana, Northeast Indiana, Southwest, Southeast, and there were 4 teams that made the playoffs in class. I think it was 3A, and it was a great year, great guys.
Yeah, and that's kind of the beautiful thing about sports here. We've had those years where we've had those really great teams, the undefeated teams, the state-winning teams, but we also had those teams that kids were able to participate for and just have an experience. All of my brothers played football here. They're watching. I don't know if they were very good. I think one was. I think we could guess which one in my family we're talking about. But, just the fact that we give people the opportunity to play. And I think that's what I appreciate the most about Coach Racine is that he really encourages kids that even if you've never played, come try it out, check it out, and we'll do the best with it. This was the year he needed more helmets because their heads are getting bigger, which means that they're getting bigger bodies.
Well, there's more of them.
Yeah, right. There's more of them, and they're bigger boys. So he's getting more and more excited every year. So come out and support Coach Racine and our Warriors as they're reinitiating year into the varsity lineup, hopefully for varsity seasons for many more to come.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. So we're less than a little more than 5 minutes to go here until the 7:50 with the Cube skating party, the Martini Case, Adam Golikowski's concert to coach the Warriors. It's up to 2:30 now. So Warrior swag basket and the ladies' boots. Those are all available. So again, you can help us out, and we're very grateful. Very grateful. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up this next year. You talked about the football season, but the football season coming up is part of what will be our 100th school year.
Ding, ding, ding. I was waiting for you to say it,
Yeah.
Paul. Usually that's the first thing you lead into. So, we still have grand plans for our 100th school year going in. We obviously, had a little setback here and there with COVID, but we still plan on putting on exciting events, activities. On my side, as far as the school is concerned, we will be doing a monthly activity to support excitement around the 100 year. I know we're doing some physical things that people will be able to see. For example, our students will have a special centennial logoed polo that they can wear to their school, supported kind of by Dennis uniforms. Those type of things. We're really excited to organize and get together because Corona or no Corona, we will celebrate our 100th year. So I know the alumni events, I know we have to mark our calendars for
September 16th of 2021.
Yes, and that is a Thursday because we're going to celebrate all weekend. So book your tickets now. From what I hear, airline tickets are cheap at the moment. So book your tickets now for September
16th, 2021.
2021. So there will be a vaccine in place, so we're good to go. So go ahead and get your tickets now and join us for the big gala.
There you go. Bishop Noll's principal has just confirmed that there will be a vaccine in place.
Hey, all leadership can say what they want nowadays, so I'm rolling with it.
That happens to be the actual 100th anniversary of the first day of classes at Catholic Central High School, where they started with two small classrooms at St. Mary's Parish School in East Chicago, and then the next year came to this plot of land here to what ultimately became Bishop Noll High School and then later Bishop Noll Institute.
Right. And if anybody out there just really takes a time to reflect about what that means, I mean, if you think of businesses that have been around for 100 years, if you think of establishments that have been around for 100 years, we've been around for 100 years. As a school, we've been able to create an environment that produces lifelong learners, produces educated students that are focused on the mission. And we have successfully done it for 100 years. So if you're sitting next to somebody, maybe your wife's on the computer and you were the alumni grad, or your wife's sitting on the side and you're the alumni grad, you're the guy at the computer, you are part of 100 years of education in Northwest Indiana. And I'm thankful to say from a lot of the people that I know that have graduated from Bishop Noll from Northwest Indiana, you're also the leaders of not just Northwest Indiana, but of the country, of the nation. So kudos to all the Bishop Noll Warriors. Our slogan with COVID has been Warrior Strong, and I think that penetrates not just to the class of 2020, but it also goes to my freshmen, my sophomores, my juniors, my seniors, and all the alums. So we are Warrior Strong. So thank you out there. If you're on the couch and bored and wanting to give a donation, or you just got a stimulus check and you're extra blessed to help others, please feel free to help us out.
And I want to jump in and so we have just over a minute left on this next the 80 series, and I see the Warrior Swag Basket is $265. That's been really, really popular in a lot of activity. We'll do 2 of them for whoever having fun there. If we get, because it's gone so well, we'll do 2 of them. And
That's great.
We'll create a second swag basket for the number 2 donor as well, based on that amount. So
that's awesome. So keep those bids coming so we can give 2 people swag bags.
Just a minute to go on that. So go ahead and see if you can bump that up and be part of the last 2 to get in there. Otherwise, looking good too. Adam Golikowski is going for $326.
There you go, Adam.
Warrior, you can coach the Warriors. Put the headsets on for $230. Martinis $440. Skating $375. I think we're doing okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's funny how the alcohol has the highest bids.
No, that does not surprise. That doesn't surprise you, does it?
Yeah, no, it does not. Not nowadays. But thank you, everybody, for your generosity. I would personally pair Adam with, the event with alcoholic beverage, so you could have 2. When you think about it, for a nice event with friends, you'd have the martini basket, and Adam can serenade, and you have a great evening and a great event.
Make sure Adam's up for that, though.
I didn't say Adam be drinking.
Okay, so we're counting down here. The 750s are the 750 closeout time's about to happen, and that leaves us just with 2. After that closes, we'll have just 2 series to go. The 90 series. All right.
There we go.
The Sanibel Island Condo. A very nice, and this is not the first time we've had this. The Sanibel Island Condo is a gift from Mark and Sharon Clossy. Mark is a board member.
Thank you, Sharon.
And member, graduate of the class of 1976. Mark and Sharon have done this in past years. We are very grateful for them. It's a $3,000 value in beautiful Sanibel Island, just outside of Fort Myers, in Southwest Florida. And you're right on the water. Visible to, maybe not on the water, but you're right there, visible from their balcony, and it's a beautiful place. Also, the Bishop Noll Golf Outing, which is set for July. It's an $800 value for a foursome that includes lunch, includes dinner and happy hour afterwards. Always got to have the happy hour.
Always.
And you're round to golf at Innsbruck Country Club. That's going for $510 right now. It's an $800 value. So feel free to jump in on that. You got 8.5 minutes to go on that one. Case of 18 wines is there. That's good. $300. Dick Butkus throwback jersey. This still has the tags on it. It's been there. It's $165 is the bid right now. So that's item number 93. You can jump in on that. There's some waterproof the Muck brand boots for working outside. $110. That's good. The Goose Island beer bottle there. There's 4, I forget the size, milliliter size of those, but that's I think 2016, 27. I have to look at the item, but Goose Island beer, $125, and that's coming up next year. So that's at 8 o'clock.
We've gotten a lot of nice gifts and donations. So thank you to anybody out there who made a donation so we can actually auction off tonight. Like I said, a lot of it was faculty, but a lot of it was an alumni supporters. So I think that's a true blessing for the simple fact that you believe in what we're doing here. So you made your donation, and thank you so much for that. So anybody who donated those items, Mark and Sharon Clossy, those other people who donated, thank you so much because all of this is going right back to the students.
Yeah, that's right. For the Dick Butkus jersey, I want to thank a classmate of mine at Bishop Noll, who is now a Bishop Noll parent. That's Steve Drexler from the class of '77. Steve and Aaron, thank you very much. They're among the many of us who have graduated and come back and sent our children here.
Absolutely, and a great family this week with the 2020 class of 2020. Kind of situation as far as, obviously their year being cut short, et cetera. We decided to organize Adopt a Senior. And I thought of it because you said Mr. Drexler and their family adopted a senior. But all of our families actually stepped up, our staff, and we adopted 94 of our own kids. And they would go to the house and leave them a poster kind of with their name and saying Class of 2020, Warrior Strong. And then they also presented them with a little bag of treats. I had one parent that didn't want their child to be adopted. So I adopted them myself, and I went over there, and just to see the joy on their face was just awesome. Because no matter how you cut it, it's been a tough year for our seniors the last quarter. So those little things that we're trying to do just to make it special for them, knowing that they lost out on their fourth quarter, of their senior year. And as a principal, my heart goes out to them. And just trying to do these little things to try to build spirit and keep them moving towards the finish line as they start to progress their lives moving forward into their college and future lives. So just thanks to, parents like that, the Drexler family and all the families that stepped up, staff members, to adopt a senior and just make this week a little extra special for them.
Yeah. And this year's seniors, great group of kids.
Oh, love them. Love them. I've been blessed with this group of seniors. I had some of these kids for 8 years because I came in 4 years ago with them. And they just really are a beautiful group of students. And in truth and in heart, my heart hurts for them because they just lost their fourth quarter of their senior year. They lost events, they lost activities, and that can never be recreated. However, I also believe that this is a group of strong character, and because of that character, they're making the best of it. And I think that that's really important. I was watching a CNN special last night on education and how COVID has changed the face. And it was really about putting things into perspective and looking at where the student is and the child is at the moment and having them understand perception around it for them to better cope with this. So I know that these kids are just very centered. So I know that they're making the best of this situation and trying to move forward through it.
And ditto. That's very well said.
I really love them. They're a great group of kids.
So we have passed the 68,000 mark and are approaching 69,000. We're getting there. So thank you so much to everybody. And again, if you're not a bidder, but you want to give to the cause and help a family and support a warrior, help a warrior out, you can go to the webpage BNI reinvent.givesmart.com and just make a straight donation too. The options are there. There's the buttons to click to make a straight donation.
Yeah. If you get frustrated with the bidding and you're not winning anything, but you still want to win and give, just go ahead and make a donation just to make sure that you are able to support our Bishop Noll community and our students.
Yeah, very, very well said. Also, this is Memorial Day weekend, and so we want to give a special thank you and to all of our Bishop Noll family members and all of our veterans out there for the sacrifices they have made. And, many of our Bishop Noll grads that we have a number that lost their lives in World War II or whatever. And
Yes,
we owe a lot to them.
Absolutely. As I drove by today, I was running some errands. I drove by the cemetery and I just saw all these families, celebrating their loved ones, right? In certain ways and remembering them. Because without those sacrifices, we don't have the freedoms to do what we do here daily, to provide this education for our kids, to do what we do day in and day out because of people who sacrifice their lives for our freedoms. So thank you to families, Bishop Noll families, all families, any families watching who have given the ultimate sacrifice and sacrificed their loved ones.
Yeah. And we see today, too, with the whole COVID situation and the frontline sacrifices being made by those people in the medical profession, especially our nurses.
Absolutely.
The commitment and the dedications. Thank you for all that you have done during this time. And, it's not apples and apples per se, but there are parallels to be made if you think back. If we study our history in the Angels of Bataan, back in the era of the Bataan Death March, and if Mr. Trafney if we were in session this coming week, or maybe it would have been Friday, yesterday, he would have been here to. He still come for those who know Mr. Trafney and how he would make his announcements. Every significant military holiday. He still does.
He would come in and he does an educational piece over the announcements to educate the student body on the history and the relevance of these historical events such as Memorial Day.
Yeah. He's just an example of the dedicated faculty we have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have many dedicated faculty out there. As a student here, you sometimes forget or you don't realize or appreciate what you gathered here until you leave. And I think that all alumni would agree to that they really liked it when they were here. They appreciated it, but they didn't appreciate or really understand necessarily what value the lessons that people like Mr. Trafney, teachers like Mr. Tatako, Mr. Bentley, Miss Bates, Miss Conley, the list can go on and on for teachers that have made an impact. I'm sure you have your own list of teachers who have impacted us. But I think that's something to be said about the quality of kid that comes out of Bishop Noll, is that it's run by quality people like the teachers in those classrooms. And during this COVID situation, you realize so much more those energies that are used and the passion and intention behind them is moving.
Yeah. It's actually a pleasure, too, in my role now. When I was a student here, at the time she was Miss McMahon, and Terry McMahon, and now she's Terry Putz. And she is very engaged with us right now. She's a member of our Centennial History Committee, and we are preparing a recording of our 100-year history that we're going to be publishing, and a couple different platforms, and you'll hear about that as we get closer to it. But she's just an example of truly engaged at the time for the children, the students who were here. I was editor of the Journal my senior year. She was my advisor. I had her for class as a junior. Just very dedicated and
absolutely. And thankfully, we still continue that tradition of strong faculty here at Noll. You could ask a kid, hey, who's your favorite teacher? And you'll hear them. They'll start rattling off who are the teachers that really have impacted them, not just in the classroom, but as people.
Yeah. Very good, very good. So looks like the 90 series should have just closed, and that leaves us one more to go, one more series. And let me see what I got here. So the last series is the BNI Fieldhouse sponsorship. That's one of those that we should talk about. So Mary Ellen, maybe you can join us up here again, and we want to talk about the Fieldhouse sponsorship is one of those things that has been a historic thing that we've done and has been very popular. It looks like our Fieldhouse sponsorship right now is at, where is it at? $1,000 if my computer is updated properly. So we've been doing that for every year, and it's a chance for somebody who can next year, in calendar year 2021,
Yes.
can actually have their name hanging as the XXX Fieldhouse during our centennial year and during the actual centennial gala.
Yes, that's great. It's a great opportunity. We print a nice big sign with your name, your family's name, whatever name you choose, on the sign, and it hangs in the field house. We usually do the dedication during a Bishop Noll basketball game,
At
a
the
home
start,
Bishop
at the
Noll
start of the
basketball
calendar
game.
year, right?
Right, to start out. So usually sometime in January, late January, early February, and then it hangs there, and it's your field house for the next 12 months. And it's quite an honor, and next year would be a great opportunity during our centennial year.
Currently, last year, it currently is in the name of John Bach,
Yes.
a special young man to all of us. John was unfortunately left us way too early, and his members of his class and adjacent classes stepped up last year. He was a member of the class of 2012, and those are the kinds of special tributes that are available in that.
Right.
The class
Right.
of 2012, I think, paid
They played
$2012.
Yeah, 2012 is
Yeah.
what they paid as well.
Yeah.
And a couple of friends from the class of 2013 as well. And it was quite a tribute to John. And this is your opportunity to pay tribute to your family or one special person in your family, whatever it may be.
And that's terrific. So if I know we didn't plan this or whatever, but maybe as we get past this last item here, the 100 series, we have the Fieldhouse sponsorship. The chopping block item is nice. You want to talk a little bit about the chopping block
The
item?
chopping block, it's a great opportunity if you like to cook and you want to sharpen those culinary skills. There is a great item. It's a $200 gift certificate to the chopping block downtown at the Merchandise Mart, and you get to go and cook with chefs, with trained chefs who are also teachers. And also thrown in there are 2 really nice bottles of wine. There is a great Italian blend, a Tuscan blend, and there is a Spanish Rioja. Both are great. You can enjoy that wine at home, or you can enjoy that wine while you're cooking your meal at the chopping block.
And we also have a Paula Deen air fryer there. We have the wagon. And I know that, Tony, you want to zoom in on that one more time there because that wagon is a popular thing. It looks like let's see, what's the wagon going for right now? $640.
It's excellent.
That's good. So it's a $700 value.
And really, on top of that, it's $800 because that wagon is a value of $100. It's a great gardening wagon. Use it for your gardening. Use it for tailgating. It folds up. It's very compact. It folds up into a bag that you can carry it around. So it's really nice.
And Tony knows that wagon well because the WGLB crew uses a similar wagon, if not
Right.
an exact wagon, to carry their equipment around. Right. So that's good. We've got a chance to co-host with me on a show on WGLB. We're grateful to Jim Dietlow for allowing that. The Coach handbag set. You want to talk about that at all? Thanks to Lisa Kuziak for that donation.
It is. It's 2 or 3 pieces. It's a small wristlet. It's a handbag, and I believe a wallet. Beautiful neutral colors, and if you need a need of a handbag, this is the way to get a whole ensemble.
And thanks, Lisa. That's at $375. And I should thank Mary Ellen and her husband Kevin for the chopping block item that they so graciously.
We've been there.
donated.
It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We were there in January for some cooking classes, and we had a great time.
So after in another 4 or 5 minutes, when the last items close, we will have an opportunity to review these things, but also have an opportunity for people who, while we wait for the 8:30 raffle drawing, some of our people who are with us may wish to make a donation.
Absolutely.
And so what should they do?
They should go to our site,
BNI Reinvent.
at
.GiveSmart.
I'm sorry, I keep on saying that. BNIReinvent.GiveSmart.com. And there is a donate button. There are several levels that wherever you feel comfortable in donating to our student scholarships, just hit that level and you can put that right onto a credit card. And again, it goes directly to our student scholarships. Usually when at the big event, this is the time of the evening where we ask you, we ask you to raise your paddle. So this is in lieu of doing that. We give you a number of dollar levels, and wherever you're comfortable in making a donation, we ask you to kindly do so.
Okay, so maybe at this time we can. Oh, thank you. Okay, Jimmy's ahead of me here. The scroll is running with looking at many of our donors, or all of our donors, who have just not bid but have just made straight donations. So.
Yes.
You have a chance to join the list of these people. We are so grateful to everybody tonight for their generosity. We are right on the heels of 70,000. We are a couple hundred away from that. So it's a great night.
I'm blown away by the generosity.
Yeah, we're so grateful. And so if you have a chance to jump in. Now's your chance to do that. And Mary Ellen, I want to thank you. I want to thank Julie Sandoval and Jen Florak for all of their work here in the last couple months, actually. And just once we knew that we were not going to be able to convene a gathering in late April,
right,
as you spoke about, we had to figure out. We had a commitment to these students. We had to come up with a minimum of that $50,000.
Right.
And so we've been actually talking about doing a virtual format within our event.
We've been talking about that for a couple of years.
For a number of years. So this forced our hand, unfortunately, but the silver lining is that it worked well. It was very functional, and we were able to postpone it enough to get the word out, communicate it to our stakeholders, and our stakeholders, our alumni and family and friends, have been just so generous, and so we are, so grateful to all of you for this, and couldn't be happier.
Sure, it was kind of a scary proposition. I mean, we weren't sure how it would be received, and you've received it well, and you've been so generous to us. Really worked out great.
Yeah. So thanks. So we'll call it a paddle raise coming up, and in just a few minutes. We got less than a minute to go until the last batch is done, and then the bidding will close for the night, and then we'll just go into the paddle raise and
help a warrior.
Help a warrior.
Help a warrior is what we're asking.
Just help a warrior, and then thank you, Mary Ellen, and I'll ask Lorenza to come back up, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Thank you so much. I'm just doing a quick refresh here to see where we stand, and we have passed the $70,000 mark. So give yourselves a hand out there, everybody. Past the $70,000 mark. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's just awesome. So soon we'll find out who will give the. Right about now it's closing, so we'll have the totals on those last items here in a minute. Okay, in fact, here they are. So for the 100 series, the Fieldhouse sponsorship went for $2,100. $2,100.
Awesome.
That's
Thank you.
terrific. So I don't know. I'm not going to announce the winning bidder or anything here, but the winning bidder will have their name on the Fieldhouse wall for the centennial year. That's special.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
The centennial year. That's a good point.
Coach handbag set went for $375.
Thank you to the donor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The chopping block, $280. The co-host on WJB, $320. Paula Dean's air fryer, $150.
Paula Dean, I didn't tell my husband a bid on that one. Oh, man.
You just wanted the jerky, right?
Exactly.
The wagon cart off the wagon, $680. So
that's awesome.
Good job. Chinese porcelain tea set. We want to thank our Julie New, who's our Mandarin Chinese teacher here at Bishop
Yes,
Noll.
really great person too.
Who donated that, and we got $75 for that. Thank you very much. So now you have a chance to help a warrior, and that's the paddle raise. This is the time, typically, when at the end of the big event, when we have it in the field house, where Lorenza gets up and she pleads with. Makes her case.
I beg, not going to lie. No, I actually typically will just discuss kind of the impact that the Principal Scholarship holds for our students. So the Principal Scholarship typically will go to the highest performing students on our entrance exam. So what I always like to say, it's the cream of the crop of Bishop Noll. It's the kids that are really here, focused academically to do their best. And I share typically a story about what it means for those students to receive that Principal Scholarship and what they're able to do because of the support of this scholarship.
Yeah, that's terrific. In fact, if I know that, as you know, we're trying to, it's an automated procedure. So as we get names of donations coming in, I know that they're being updated, and I know Julie's working on trying to get the class affiliation. So maybe Jimmy, we can play that again, the scroll. Yeah, we can go ahead and play that again. As we prepare that. So and we are going to do the raffle drawing at 8:30. So that's coming up. We talked about teachers earlier, and I just want to ask everybody for their prayers. We lost last week or so ago a very special teacher, Rich Nowak.
Oh, he was awesome. He was my teacher. Mr. Nowak was just like a kind gentleman, a kind soul, a good man, and a great model of the Catholic faith. I think in the classroom, outside the classroom, even after I left and came back as a student, I mean, he'd come here at the fish fries, and he was so joyous just to see me, and just a humble man, and a great teacher. I mean, no joke. The guy told me the shortest distance between two places is a line, but that's not right. He always corrected that saying and said it was a line segment because a line would never end. So I always think of that, because I live in Northwest Indiana, about which is going to be the fastest route to get around the trains. So Mr. Nowak has had an impact on my life daily because I live in Northwest Indiana, and just a great man, and truthfully, a great model of what it means to be a humble, loving man in his profession.
And I believe in it, and I apologize if I'm wrong on this number, but I believe, as the obituary said, he taught here for 38 years.
Wow.
If that was...
I don't know the years. I know he taught me. I know he taught many of my siblings, and I know he was a really good teacher. Yeah. So, as my kids are learning geometric shapes like cylinder and whatever they're called now, but even just, I remember his lessons going through my head, like, how do you get the area? What is, he was really a great teacher, and on top of that, a great man. So may he rest in peace, and I am confident that the angels greeted him into heaven.
And while we're at it, we also want to ask for prayers and ask for the repose of the soul of Stella Sabilo. The Sabilo family is, a mainstay here at Bishop Noll.
Absolutely. Prayers for them.
And Stella passed away recently at the age of 96. Her funeral was yesterday, and we pray for her soul, and we give God thanks for the commitment that she had to her faith, her family, her community.
Absolutely.
She was Bishop Noll's first softball coach.
Oh, really?
Back in when in the current history,
right,
when softball first came aboard, and.
Wow. Well, she rest in peace, and I'm sure she's going to be hitting a few balls up there. So, prayers for her and her family. Sabilo family is certainly a beloved family. Her, I would assume, great granddaughter, Elena, was one of my students, and my daughter's teacher last year. So, really a beautiful family.
Yeah, Elena teaches in the diocese and also helps coach here at Noll. And
absolutely.
So Rich, of course, is our hockey coach and a state championship hockey coach.
That's
for the
right.
second time in 4 years.
Yep.
And so we're very grateful for that. So.
If I may just share a story with one of the students that was a Principal Scholarship winner, and I know this because his principal, when Bishop Noll came to present the award at St. Casimir, one of my own at St. Cas was Angel Trevino, and I had the blessing of going to see Angel. Obviously, we have the COVID situation, and Thursday was our rescheduled prom. So I went around with Mr. Cavazos and Miss Floric. Miss Floric took the pictures and the video, and we went to go sash all of our prom court. So we went to sash all of the members that were voted in prom court, and we were able to crown our king and queen, and our king being Angel Trevino. And this young gentleman was a principal scholarship recipient when he was a little freshman. And I've truly seen that young man take full advantage of the opportunity here at Noll. I've seen him grow, mature, not only academically, but spiritually, socially. He was crowned prom king, and I literally had like sparklers, and I was like, will you dance? Because it's a prom dance. And he danced, and he was just so supportive. He went to an MIT summer camp last summer, very difficult to get into, but he made it through. He had a great experience. I was talking to him about it. He's like, Miss Paschik, it's just so different how you have to think so differently in this environment. I said, absolutely, Angela, you're going to realize that when you go to college, when you go to that next level, they're going to challenge the norm, the way you typically think. And that's the opportunity that education presents itself, is the opportunity to think differently than maybe you were raised or maybe what you know. And I'm thankful to say that the principal scholarship did that for this young man. And he's going to do great, grand things. Granted, he was dancing with sparklers the other night, but I'm confident that he is going to make a difference in the world. And I think that the education that Bishop Noll has given him certainly has given him the tools to be a successful young man, whether it be a leader locally or a leader nationally. He's going to do great things. So, Angel, if you're in on this, happy prom king, and thank you for being just a great example of what Bishop Noll is. You embody mind, body, and soul in your behavior and your mannerisms, and I really do believe that this principal scholarship that people are bidding on and supporting right now goes to students like that. We're very intentional about making sure that we're supporting those that support our mission here at Bishop Noll.
Very good. I see we have a couple young alumni who made some donations here, committed to Shannon Whalen and Megan Whalen, $250 each. So thanks for
my students.
For that.
Way to go!
Yeah. And so thrilling to have passed that 70,000 mark. So it's.
Yeah. I think it just goes to show what kind of generous warriors we have out there. You know, when we tout Warrior Strong, we mean it. When the kids are struggling right now, trying to get through their studies virtually, I keep saying, I'm not going to give up on them. They can't give up on themselves because we're Warrior Strong. And I think that the mark that we're making numerically shows that our community comes through when it's time to. And it's a Warrior Strong, from the students to the staff to the admin to the alum. I think that's what we're about.
So, and we have, I think we got about 10 minutes. And Julie, we're going to do the 8:30, right? So we got about 10 minutes to go. Lorenzo's going to pull for us, but while we're doing that, maybe we talk a little bit about the plans for next year, because we don't know what's going to happen. We talk a little bit about, I know you referenced it earlier, but we don't know what it's going to look like, but we do have a committee that's working on solutions and alternatives.
So naturally, I actually received my first email from my parent of concern for next year. Obviously, I think every leader in education is concerned about how next year will look, how next year will feel, and how next year it will be. I can assure the Bishop Noll community, safety is our first priority. When we went into this COVID, we set a goal that it was our goal to make sure that we made sure our students were healthy and safe. We wanted to make sure that we created a sense of normalcy. We wanted to make sure that we kept that community feel of our school, and we wanted to make sure that we provided a quality college preparatory education. And I'm thankful to say in this fourth quarter, we executed. Now, next year, we're faced with other challenges that are still unknown. Unknown because that's just the reality of this virus at the moment. However, we have activated different committees throughout our building, specifically to focus on obviously facilities, how the facilities will have to be rearranged to make sure that we maximize our space and separate as much as possible for the safety of our kids. We've activated academic best practice committee to make sure that our teachers are still prepared virtually if they need to be, that they're prepared in the new distance style of learning, and also trained in really safety and universal precautions, because there's going to be an element of safety that the teachers and students are going to have to be trained in to make sure that we're all well and healthy here at Bishop Noll. We've also activated committees. The other committee is Social and Emotional Wellness Committee, making sure that we still build community during these difficult times. I'm thankful to say, even in this fourth quarter, our student council stepped up. They had the trivia championship last night. They were doing Zoom trivias. Our Divine Mercy Chaplet was held every Friday. Our chapel was active. We had Zoom chapels where staff, students would give testimony to witness, and they would participate in chapels, and it was totally voluntary, and we had students coming in. We think that sense of normalcy and community is critical for teenagers during this time, and we have to just be mindful that we do it safely. And that's the challenge. This year, at the beginning of the year, our staff adopted a word, and it happened to be the word embrace. It was one word that can change your life, the book series. And we, as a staff, chose the word embrace. And we said we were going to embrace this year's situation. And I find it interesting that we can't physically embrace anymore, but we've taken on this challenge and its uncertainties, and we've embraced the challenge as a staff. I think overall our students have embraced the challenge. We've had some students that have had struggles. In fact, Mr. Cavazos and I had to make some house visits like, hey, where you been? We miss you, and we haven't seen you. But I think that speaks volumes to the family aspect that Bishop Noll provides. We are here for you, even when we're not standing over you. And I know that next year, Mr. Cavazos, myself, and many staff members, including other principals in the diocese, are working very much so to make sure that we keep our buildings safe and our students healthy, that we are mindful of our facilities and maximizing the opportunity that we have within them, and making sure that we provide a quality Catholic education that creates a sense of normalcy for our students given unnormal times. So it really is a challenge. I would lie if I said that I haven't had sleepless nights. I certainly have. Education is flipped upside down right now, but I am confident that through the support of the Holy Spirit, this will all come together beautifully for the opening of the school year. And with the support of the parents and the students, I am confident that we will continue to be successful into our 100th year.
Yeah, very well said. So thank you much. So we're just counting down here. We have passed the $71,000 mark.
That's the spirit. Well, let's go for 75. Can we pull it off in how many minutes?
Well, actually, because of the fact that we have a couple of the gifts we have that are going to be, we're offering two of them that actually is a little higher than that. So it's.
Well, let's go for 75. All right. What year did you graduate, Paul?
77.
All right, let's go for 77. I would say me, but we'd have to duplicate.
Yeah.
I'm a little younger than Mr. Mullaney, so we're just rolling with it.
Yeah, just rub it in. Just respect your elders. Right?
But truthfully, thank you out there to the community, to those who are supporting, for those who are giving. Every dollar counts. And just so you know, this is one scholarship fund that every dollar given goes straight back to the kids. So, when you're looking at who to support and where to give, the truth is our families are going to need help next year. So every dollar given goes to support tuition. So first and foremost, thank you. When I was driving here in the monsoon of a rainstorm to see the double rainbow is truth that we are in this together. We are in this as a Bishop Noll family. We are in this as a community, and I am thankful for your guys' support this evening. I know that it is our goal to continue to serve our kids day in and day out, and I know because of your generosity, we're going to be able to support more.
And again, the outpouring of love and support from all of you that have helped us and helped our warriors, we are just so grateful. So it's time to say thank you, and can't say it enough. So thank you so much from the bottom of all of our hearts, and on behalf of our students, we are truly grateful. So why don't we go ahead? I mean, we're 3 minutes away, but why don't we go ahead and do the raffle now since we're pretty much wrapped up. I want to let all of our viewers know that even though we'll be closing the live stream and everything here, and that our bidding is done, our portal, our website will remain open for the coming days. So we'll give it another week or two or so, and you can still contribute to the cause if you didn't get a chance to do it today. Maybe you're watching the live stream, not live. Maybe you're watching it on a Facebook replay or a YouTube replay or whatever. So we're gonna before we do this here, Lorenza, as our principal, she's gonna pull the winning ticket. Her name is among those who's on our raffle license. So we. Indiana raffle license. She's not going to look and see any of the names in there. She's going to be, and so we have three prizes here. First prize is $5,000, correct? Second prize is $1,000. Third prize $500, and we're going to draw first, second, and third. So we'll
Announce it as third, second, and first.
we're going to announce it backwards, but we're going to pull them obviously in order. So. Lorenza will pull the first place winner. We're going to put.
I'll look at you guys, okay? So if you're thinking, oh, if I win 5 G's, how much am I going to give back? That's the spirit. What do I got to do? Pull it out. Oh,
Lorenza doesn't need a mic, right?
I did it.
Okay, you're going to put that in the envelope.
First place.
Okay, there's the first place.
I get nervous with this. I don't usually do this.
All right, that's
Is it
one. That's
okay,
one.
It feels a little sticky.
Second place in the envelope.
Wait.
She's very thorough.
Julie's making sure nobody sticks to the top.
I'm digging hard for whoever wins this one, okay?
And there's the third place.
Okay.
All right, so you want to announce them, Mary Ellen, or?
Sure.
Oh, I got to spit. Social distancing. Excuse me. Thank you. Social distancing. I already messed up earlier.
Okay, third place. $500.
Can you hear her okay? Drum roll, please.
Mr. Robert Zimmerman of Valparaiso, Indiana.
Robert Zimmerman, Valpo, congratulations. That's $500, right?
That's $500.
Now comes $1,000.
Second place.
This is the
1,000.
second place.
Dean Mantell of DeForest, Wisconsin.
Dean Mantell, thank you, Dean. Dean was also a very generous donor to our cause, so thank you. Thank you very much.
And the first place winner?
$5,000 to this person.
$5,000. Oh, this is great. Bob Homrich, also known as Peanut Butter Bob, because he sponsors our peanut butter drive each year. Bob Homrich of San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, very good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Bob, Dean, and Mr. Zimmerman. So very good. Thank you very much. So as we wrap up here, I want to once again thank the crew that we had in here today. We want to thank Jen Florek, Julie Sandoval, Mary Ellen O'Neill from our advancement and communications team. I want to thank Lorenza for coming in, and we want to thank Paul Zimkowski for our IT guy who helped and worked with Jimmy Mullaney and Tony Panic on the cameras and pulling the switches. And it's just been a great day. It's a great day to be a warrior. And Bishop Noll family and to our extended family and all those who contributed today, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. God bless you all. And until next time, be well and go Warriors.